Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. I'd first like to welcome all of our great fans watching today's live stream on lakings.com. Today, we introduce the new leadership of the LA Kings. As you all know, yesterday AEG and the LA Kings announced changes to our front office structure. This afternoon, we would like to provide an opportunity for you to hear from the organizational leadership. We have Dan Beckerman, President and CEO of AEG, Kings President Luc Robitaille, and Vice President and General Manager Rob Blake. They're here to take your questions in regards to this decision today. First, we will begin with some opening remarks from each individual, and then we'll open the floor to questions. Once that's complete, we'll move to one-on-one opportunities. Some will be here up on the stage, some will be off to the side. I would also like to point out that we have our three captains here today who are available for your questions following the formal session. So thank you, Andrzej Kopitar, Jeff Carter, and Drew Dowdy for being here today. With that, I'll turn things over to Dan.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks to everyone for being here today. Yesterday was a difficult day. I've been here for about 20 years now, and it was probably one of the toughest days that I've had with the Kings. This was a really difficult decision, one that was not taken lightly. We are all grateful for what Dean and Daryl did for this organization. They built an incredible team. They built an incredible infrastructure. They led us to 2 Stanley Cup championships. They took the franchise to new heights, set the bar extremely high. And for that, we're all forever indebted to them for what they did for this team and this franchise. Loyalty is something that's important to this organization. It's part of our culture. It's part of our core, which is what made this decision so difficult. But loyalty is also why these two guys are sitting next to me today as the leaders of this club. Luc Robitaille was drafted as a King, became a Hall of Famer as a King, and now is the president of the club. Rob Blake, drafted as a King, became a Hall of Famer as a King, and is now our general manager. And when change is needed and those opportunities arise, we like to look from within and develop from within. That's also an important part of our culture and our organization. So this was a very difficult decision, but ultimately it was about our future, it was about evolving, and it was about moving forward as an organization. And there are high expectations, there's no question, with what this team has accomplished in the last several years. In 2012 and 2014, the bar is set extremely high. And this business is about success, and we have not met our goals the last 3 years. We need to be competing for championships every year, and we haven't met that objective the last 3 years. But as we look forward, I have great confidence. Everybody here has great confidence in our players. We have confidence in our on-ice leadership team, which is here today. And we have confidence in our management, led by Rob and by Luc. And we expect success, and our fans expect success. And we believe that we'll be, once again, playing hockey in May and June. Luc.
Thank you, Dan. I'd first like to start off by thanking you, Dan, and Phil Anschutz. You guys' support's been tremendous for us. But the bottom line is this is about the LA Kings, and we know also that no one is more committed to the Kings than you both and the family of AEG. I know this has not been an easy process for you guys, but I'm very excited for the opportunity to work with Rob and help the Kings get back to what we all expect from this hockey team. Just know that we have tremendous respect for Dean and Daryl, and we want to thank them both for what they did for us during their time with the organization. Everyone, including me, who had the opportunity to work closely with them is better for it. They taught us a lot about building a winning culture and constantly striving to be the best. We promise you this. we will never take their contribution for granted. But in the end, this is about the LA Kings, and it's about winning Stanley Cups. I look forward to working with Rob and being a resource for him. He and I have worked together for years, and I'm confident we believe in the same things and will work very closely together to reach our goals. Lastly, we believe that this team has the core in place to contend for the Stanley Cup. Guys like Kopi, Jeff, who's here, and Drew, and then Jonathan Quick, these guys are all at their prime. Those are players who have won championship, and they strive to win more. Most importantly, it's about creating an expectation that when you wear the Kings jersey, it represents something special. It represents winning, it represents excellence, and it represents this city and our fans. It also represents all the people that come to work each day to give their all for this organization. That's it. Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, thanks everyone for obviously coming. I'm going to keep it a little bit short. I know there's going to be a lot of questions, and I think a lot of the answers would kind of be some things that I would make in statements. So first of all, listen, it's a tremendous honor to be here and to be in a position to lead this organization. You know, the success this organization has had, Dean and Daryl took it to new heights. They won Stanley Cups. The players right here have been through it all, and they've understood it. And you know, the opportunity that arose to come and get that to that level again is something you would only dream of. It was funny this morning, you get up and they come in and, you know, the players are coming in for the medicals and physicals, and Luke and I wanted to address the players, and it's been a long time since I stood up in front of the players, you know, 7, 8 years now, and the feeling that you get when you do that is the exact same. So again, I'm excited to this journey and work with Dan and Luke and fulfill what everyone here wants us to do.
Thanks, Rob. So with that, at this time, we'll open the floor to questions. We have microphones available, so raise your hand, please, in advance, and we'll make sure to get one to you. Jim?
Yeah, this is for Luke and Rob. First of all, congratulations. And recently, Magic took over running the Lakers, and now you two are going to run the Kings. Are we starting to see a trend in professional sports, whereas we are seeing former great players go back and run the teams, and if so, why?
I mean, I can answer a little bit. I'm not sure if it's a trend. I think it's about if you're willing to work. And, you know, having a name and having had a great career is, it's one part, but being willing to work, you know, and keep working the game that you love when you retire is another thing. I mean, all of us will tell you, we talked with Jerome McGinley today, and we told them, play as long as you can, because there's nothing like it, you know, and it takes a lot of work, and it's certainly, I think we do understand, you know, how maybe what it takes to win or what it takes, you know, after that, but at the same time, you got to be willing to work. You can ask Steve Eisenman, you can have a lot of guys in our league that are in the management side, and it's not something you just come in with great ideas.
Over here, Luke, just talk about how the transition from where you were with VP of Business Operations, President of Business Operations, and how it's prepared you for this day.
It's about team. It's always about team. And when you work in the office, and you know, there's a lot that we learn as players, and there's a lot that you learn about team commitment, and everybody has to get together. And the way to run any great business, it's always about the team. And if you can kind of translate that to everyone that works with you, most of the time you'll have good success.
Not sure if this is the right place to ask it, but I will take a shot, and if you can't answer it, great. Mike Fuda, where does he fit in on this food chain?
Yeah, I think, you know, currently in our process, we have a lot of good people working for this organization, you know, development staff, scouting staff. Mike has been tremendous, and we're going to sit with him over the next couple days, and there are vacant positions, and I think at the end of the day, I'm going to lean tremendously on him. His success that he's had here, you know, with the draft and in the Ontario League, and what he's done professionally, and you know, we'll come with an agreement here shortly.
Luke and Rob over here. Just curious about the rest of the coaching staff, the assistant coaches, and if you've made any progress or identified candidates for the coaching job.
Yes. I mean, obviously, with the hectic day yesterday and the circumstances surrounding there, we have to kind of step aside here and go through a whole list of things. So all that will be obviously in the mix. Hiring a coach and a philosophy of the coach is, of utmost importance, but there will be time involved.
So you haven't made a decision specifically on Stevens and Payne?
No.
Okay.
This is for both Luke and Rob. Just from a hockey operations standpoint, like the core philosophies of hockey operations, what do you intend to keep and maintain? What may be tweaked? What kind of core tenets that you see do you want to embody?
Well, I think if you look 2 rows ahead of you, you're looking at a heck of a core. Best defenseman in the league. What Jeff did for this team this year through some injuries early on and carried it, and Anze Kopitar, what he's been able to do. 3 of them won 2 Stanley Cups. Throw Jonathan Quick in that mix, and if that's a core you want to build around, that's a heck of a core. And that's a tribute to the staff that put that together. They've had success, they've won, and you build on that. But to see those 3 sitting here, anybody here would start a team with that.
In terms of the philosophy, too, though, the way that you want to run and operate, like, for lack of a better term, the Kings have always been seen as a team with a particular style. Is it too early to say whether you feel that will change? Or how do you kind of see the type of team that you'd like to put together?
Yeah, I think it's a little early, and that's an evaluation process. I'm not going to make anything up. We don't score. It's flat. It's been that way this year. There needs to be some emphasis on how we're going to do that. And there's time now through this offseason to come up with those different philosophies. Whoever the head coach, when he is hired, will have a major impact on that. These players are going to have it. I'm going to lean on these players to find out. They're the ones on the ice delivering that, and we're going to share ideas here over the next course, and they're going to direct us in the right way.
Rob, there's always seems like there's talk about the Kings and in terms of the salary cap and whatnot. Have you figured out a way to sort of handle that moving forward? And I mean, just in the sense of this team has always been really close to the cap. Have you identified a way to maybe get more breathing room? I mean, is there anything that you can do there to alleviate that? Is that something that you pitched to the higher ups when you were offered the job?
Well, it's funny. Luke told me there's no cap, right?
New rule.
No, listen, the cap implications are well known on all clubs and everything. And like I said, there's so much behind the scenes that goes into it. Jeff Solomon's a tremendous influence on this organization from that aspect, and he runs us through daily things. There's lots of there's a lot of things we got to look at here over the next little while. But yeah, salary cap implications definitely weigh in there.
And what have you learned from Dean in your time working with him? I mean, is there anything you can take from him into this job?
Yeah, listen, if you could get into a situation for 4 or 5 years and be an understudy and to sit and watch somebody put this organization together, it's tremendous. The utmost respect for what he's been able to accomplish. Like I said, you look at the core and they're in their prime, and that he's been able to do that. He built a culture here, started this culture, and we need to continue it. And, listen, yesterday was a tough day. But I have the utmost respect for Dean Lombardi and what he's been able to teach me and to lead me through.
Anybody else? Okay, we're going to do a quick photo here, and then we will move to a one-on-one scenario with each of the individuals here, including Anjay, Jeff, and Drew. So just stand by.